Hey guys, welcome back to Bag Only. In the last episode we did a bunch of diaries and a couple of quests just to get some gains in our herb lore. In this one we're going to go do some quests starting with the Haunted Mine. Just want to mention again, the right hand side of the screen is once again cut off just for like the first quest or two in this episode, so it is fixed relatively soon. So yeah, on to the episode. So I brought a few extra items with us just to do the diaries that you need to do in here once you've completed Haunted Mine. For example, we need to make ourselves one of these salve amulets. So I've brought a chisel and a ball of wool to make one of those. We've also got ourselves an addy pick just because we need to mine a single mithril ore inside once this is complete. And then once we've done all that stuff, we'll teleport away, we'll go to a Slayer Master. We'll drop 75 Slayer points on a Slayer ring that's fully charged instead of having to get 75 crafting to make our own. Then we'll just use that to teleport straight to Tarn's lair instead of going through the stupid maze first, because that really sucks. You can very, very easily beat the boss at the end if you bring some nice armor with some decent defense, so just grab Proselytes. It's the best I could reasonably grab that wouldn't cost too much money. And then with just good melee armor equipped, you just use Iban's Blast. We've got ourselves full prayer and a 2-dose unnoted sip. And a bunch of potatoes, which will probably incrementally drop a couple as we grab quest items on the way down, but I'm pretty confident we'll be able to defeat the guy. Right guys, here we are, big homie Treyas. You basically want to make sure that you don't run in front of any of the minecarts that are running around the room, and you also want to make sure that you're praying ranged, as you're constantly getting bombarded by ranged projectiles, and the damage from the cranes is typeless, so you can't pray against that anyway. I think we'll only have a problem if we get like really terrible RNG. Another thing that can easily get you is running in front of these minecarts and getting caught out, because if a minecart hits you in an unfortunate position like this one, then it can just kill you straight up. Just going to be really, really careful with where we step here. There we go, he's dead, so hopefully all these stupid traps turn off now. Can grab his key. And then with this key we are able to go back upstairs and unlock a different door to get in and out of the mine, which is good. Get to the very end of it a lot easier. Anyway, here we are, just grabbing ourselves the crystal outcrop here. There we go, that's quest complete, Haunted Mine, nice quick one, 22,000 strength XP for whatever reason. The real question is, where is the mithril ore? So there's our hard task. So that was Haunted Mine, so we'll go gear up now for the Lair of Tarn Razorlaw, like I say, and then we'll just come straight back and do that immediately, so I'll see you guys there. Right, let's just grab our Slayer ring here, should only be 75 points, we've saved 408, so we can afford one of these. That'll give us the Tarn's Lair telly. But the thing is with the Slayer ring, it does come with 8 charges, so I guess technically we can have up to 8 attempts before we have to buy another Slayer ring, so don't know if we necessarily need the Crystal Mine key anymore, since we will be teleporting straight into the fight. But what we can do once we've beaten him is imbue our Salve Amulets into Salve Amulet Ease, which increase the damage bonus. Straight to Tarn's Lair here, puts us right outside the door. Yes, I have tile markers from being here before. And then this should trigger the mini quest. Now like I say, I was holding off on doing this quest because I didn't want to receive Pterodog tasks because they're really hard to get to, so it's always a cancel or a skip. But as far as I'm aware, Steve doesn't actually assign these, and we're not doing Konar anymore, we're only doing Steve at the minute. He does reanimate some armor, but luckily he's blocking all his own NPCs, except this side guy, but I'm not really worried about one steel armor attacking me. So after this quest we do actually get Tarn's Diary, which we can use to enchant our Salve Amulet to give it better stats. We can actually get this from our player-owned house, which is interesting. I don't really see us using the Salve Amulet in many places, to be perfectly honest, so I'm not really worried about it. So with his first form down, he turns into a ghost, but it seems like we can still accurately hit on him with melee, even in his ghost form. And that should be it. We get 5,000 Slayer XP, and that should be the mini-quest complete. We could just nip through here next door, drop this file, grab the guy's diary, and then what that does is opens these side doors going forward, so you can come back here and fight Pterodogs if you decide to. They have some weird unique drop, like a granite helm or something useless. Anyway, there's the Salve E. If we equip this and then just go to our equipment screen here, if you have a look here, now we have, with melee, a 20% damage and accuracy boost to undead creatures, which is huge. It's bigger than the Slayer Helm boost. I guess we'll hang on to it for now, but it's one of those things I'll probably destroy very, very soon. So from here I headed over to Canifis, did a quick lap of the agility course there, and also caught a swamp lizard just a bit south. Then I just put together a steel barb, went and bought the cannonball mold and made some cannonballs in Port Phasmatis just for the medium task. So that's actually all the Morytania mediums done, except for the game of Trouble Brewing, which we can't currently complete, because you can only get into Trouble Brewing if you have a completely empty inventory and an empty head slot, which is not something we can do right now, but I do have a plan for this a bit later. Right guys, task 150 here from Konar. We've finally been assigned some Aberrant Spectres in the Stronghold Slayer Cave. We still have our Salve E from the Haunted Mine earlier, which actually gives us a 20% bonus damage boost against undeads, and these guys are undead, so that 20% actually overrides the 15 or 17 or whatever the Slayer Helm is. So it's actually good that we hung on to this Sal Ami. This should give us a couple of 100 points, I think. I think it's normally 90 for every 10th from Konar, so every 5th is probably like 270 maybe. And then I think I'll do probably another 3 levels after that. I think we'll get to 75 for the aforementioned gargoyles, just because they are so good. Right guys, here we are back at Sleigh. Let me just explain what I'm going to do going forward on this account, because in my head I've made a bit of a route, a bit of a plan, and I just want to kind of explain it to you. Because of the limited nature of this account, we do have to sort of consider the order of things a little bit. So I know that I'm going to want to do more Slayer at some stage, so just doing the Slayer now and getting to like a nice cut-off point seems to make the most sense. Obviously we only needed 69 for Questcape for Monkey Madness 2, but we have surpassed that already in Slayer. But I just want to get to some of the big money tasks that are really good. I feel like 75 is a good stopping point because we get Korasks, Skelly Wyverns, and obviously Gargoyles. And then after 75, there's not really that many good things for a while, and the XP starts to really slow down. The reason I want to do all our Slayer in one go this way is just because we're going to have a bunch of quests coming up that require us to go back to Entrana, so I want to do all our combat stuff before then, because we will have to do what I've been calling a full reset, where we have to get rid of all of our combat gear that's not allowed on Entrana for a number of quests. Obviously we can drop things at the Entrana dock and run back every 2 minutes and try and pick them up before they despawn, but some of the quests that's just not going to be possible. For example, Devious Mines, where you have to smuggle a mithril two-hander through the abyss to the lore altar. The same with Enlightened Journey. We're going to have to take inventories full of items to build the guy's balloon, and then it's several minutes per sort of balloon flying minigame you have to do as well, so anything we dropped for that quest would also disappear. So the plan is just to manually get rid of all our combat gear, basically. So I just want to do all our combat now, get to a nice 75 round number Slayer, and then we can start getting rid of some of our combat gear, clear up some invent spaces. That'll also make skilling easier. So if we get rid of all these combat gear switches that we're always holding on us all the time, then we'll have more inventory space to more efficiently do a bunch of skilling with that empty invent and with the money we make from Slayer. Then once we have nice high skills and we meet all the requirements for all the quests, like 65 smithing for Devious Mines, etc., then I'm going to do every Entrana quest at once, which obviously includes Dragon Slayer and Heroes quests, so we can start Legends quests, so we can do RFD Amic Vars, Enlightened Journey, Devious Mines. Then also I'm going to do that Trouble Brewing step in the Morytania Diary, as well as the rune crafting steps that require us to have an empty invent. So we're going to do a nice full reset, knock out a bunch of annoying kind of brick wall things we've been stuck at for a while, and then after that we can work on doing an actual full rebuild and actually focus on getting some real gear on the account. So it has meant that we've not been able to really go try Barrows or try Clue Scrolls and try and pull like Blessed D'hide or other good pieces, because the knowledge is there that it will eventually just get deleted. Hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully it's a good idea. And there's 81 hit points coming in unexpectedly, so that's also good. Here's a quick stats check, just in case you guys are wondering. We did pick up 74 defense somewhere along the way. I think I did a couple of melee tasks, and then the rest of the stats are here. 74 mage now, because we did do some bursting. We killed some Ankus with Ancients, which was nice. Just one more level for the Questcape. It's only 50k away, so we'll probably get that just by alking. We do want more and more mage levels, obviously. To get a Barrows portal in your house, you need 83. It is boostable if you use the small portal and not the portal Nexus. But actually, I think it'll be easier to just get 70 prayer, complete Morytania hard, and just get the Berg de Rot Telly legs. But like I say, we're not going for Barrows until we've done the Enlightened Journey reset, so no point worrying about any of that for now. What we do need to do is get ourselves 75 Slayer, so we're out of the woods with doing Slayer. Then what I actually need to do is get our crafting up to the level 4 Monkey Madness, get our smithing up to the level 4 Devious Mines, and then we should be good to go. Like I say, not doing any farming in between, unless we get like a Ranar seed or a Snapdragon seed at this stage. And we do have 40 doses currently noted, and like I say, 8 more Ranars from this task here that will go after this task, turn those into prayer pots and note those up as well. Just to keep that stack as high as possible for when we do get to those Slayer tasks that do require us to pray. Hey you guys, here we are doing our first ever Skeletal Wyvern task. Only assigned 8 of them, but they do take a long time to kill, like more than 2 minutes each using this range safe spot method. We've got some really crazy good loot. We've got a bunch of Wyvern bones, which we'll offer at home when we're done with this last one. We've got 4 full prayer pot 4s, which we'll note and add to our stack of 22, and 3 Ranar seeds, which will make us a bunch more prayer pots going forward. So we'll definitely make sure we do these tasks and not skip them in future. Like I say, the only issue with this is making the elemental shield first every time, but it only takes about 3 minutes to go remake that in Seer's Village, so not the end of the world. Right guys, here we are just on a Lizardman Slayer task, just done the first kill over here in the Shaman Temple on a Shaman. Didn't get anything, just some Xeric fabric. Kind of difficult, went through quite a lot of food just killing one. So I don't think I'm going to do a full task of 110 over here, especially since, like I say, we are planning to lose our combat items shortly down the line, so farming for a Dragon Warhammer seems like a terrible idea anyway. So I'm going to go do this Slayer task at the normal Lizardmen, just like we did before, maybe pick up some nice seeds and some more charges for our Xeric's Amulet. But yeah, we did just kill one of these Lizardmen inside the temple here, just to get not only a combat task for killing one, but also the hard Korend diary task for killing a single shaman in that temple. Eventually we can fully complete the Korend hard once we have 70 smithing, 65 mining, and a bunch of other levels, and that will allow us to wear the Slayer helm when killing Lizardmen like that. Which will make it a lot easier because we'll get the accuracy and damage. Wasn't a complete waste of time to get this armour, however, because I did actually want to go back and get the Shazian Boots 5, so this was a good excuse to do so, as they do actually have 4 range on them, which is really nice for a pair of boots, since we don't have something like Rangers or Blessed D-High boots yet. I should probably actually go get the power army back right now, because it's been so long since I've been carrying this stupid salve around, doing tasks like Hellhounds and Fire Giants where it's making no difference aside from its 3 prayer, and then I'll just go back to doing Slayer on regular Lizardmen. But yeah, just killed a Shaman, so that's out the way. Hey guys, how's it going? Just thought I'd mention that I've been doing so many tasks with the crossbow here, not actually using any protection prayers, just safe spotting. I've actually been building up a bunch of Ranors, turning them all into prayer pot 4s and noting them. So now we've got 49 full prayer potions on us, which is crazy. We're set up for a little while there, and we do want to power towards that 75. We're currently 52k off 74, then one more level for gargoyles. Already bought the auto smasher, so we'll be able to go do them straight away if we want to. Probably won't. So here we are getting 83 range on this worm task, really nice, one more range level, and with our current setup we get another max hit, so that's always helpful. Also got ourselves 75 defense here, which is a nice round level, unlocks a few things. Not really been doing too much melee training, and it's not really efficient to train defense with range because it's slower, so the defense training has been a little bit slow, but it's nice to have 75 in both attack and defense here. Then going forward with melee we can focus on strength a little bit. Managed to farm out another Hespori kill here. Obviously didn't get anything as a drop once again, but there's really nothing we'd be looking for here. I guess you can get farming pet, but we can't use the bucket, so Hespori's not that exciting. However, we're now a few thousand off 72 farming, which is nice. That means we can do Calquats unboosted. And here we are on our ever-beloved Dust Devil task, hitting 74 Slayer. So only one more level here to unlock Gargoyles and reach our little stopping point for now. And of course, as expected, along with that, there's the 75 Mage we were talking about earlier, which is the level 4 quest cape. But we do need a couple more levels. We need 2 more levels for Super Glass Make, which I want to get. And also we need like 5 levels for one of the blood spells we're going to need for the Seren boss fight a long time later. Hey guys, just me taking a quick break from Slayer once again. Just minigame telly to the Blast Furnace because I worked this out as the best method to quickly get a pickaxe on our account. As long as the minigame telly's up, we can just run up here from the Blast Furnace and there's a pickaxe shop right here, so that's really, really useful for us. What I'm going to go do now is do the King's Ransom quest finally. So we will have access to Chivalry immediately if we complete this quest and the Night Training Wave straight after. So first thing, I need a bunch of items including some granite, which is why I've come up here and grabbed this pickaxe. I'm just going to run over to the desert, grab the granite, and then go find a full set of black armour and a bronze med and iron chain. And then that should be all the things we need. There's no combat in this quest, only in the night training waves afterwards, so it's just a case of gathering some items together and walking around. So I'll grab said items, and I'll catch you when I'm walking around. Right guys, here we are at the quest start for King's Ransom. So what you do basically in this quest is you have to free King Arthur. You get sent to jail along with the other knights, and then you also need to free him from being a statue by using the Animate Rock Scroll that we initially picked up during One Small Favour the other day. It's quite a short quest actually. We do get a 5k XP lamp from this one, so that will obviously be going into Herblore. Only 12k left till 60, which is nice and big. I do think the Knight's training waves afterwards will take us a lot longer than the quest itself. But it is really nice to be able to unlock the Chivalry Prayer, as it'll let us combine our sort of ultimate strength and incredible reflexes into a single prayer with even more stats and defense as well. And then in just, 6 and a bit prayer levels, we'll be able to also do Piety, which is the best melee prayer in the game, so it'll be really, really nice to have access to that. Now, as for other quest rewards, we only get 1 quest point. I don't think this quest leads to any others, but we do get 5k Mage, which is nice, pushes us a little bit closer to 76. We need to get 77 for Super Glass Make, which is only honestly about 2 and a bit of those Dust Devil tasks, although we are stopping Slayer soon, so I'm not sure that's going to happen. And then we also get 33,000 in Defense for this quest, which will, give us a third of the way to 76, so I guess that's something. And like I say, we get 5k Herblore Lamp as well. So we get a nice bunch of things for a quest that has absolutely no combat and no boss fights. So here we are doing the Courthouse minigame. This is expanded a little bit in regular RuneScape. There's a little distraction and diversion where you randomly find court cases as rare drops from any old creature or other random source, and then you can come here and do these random mini quests where you defend or prosecute people in court, and they're really boring, but you need to do them for your completion cape. So yeah, what we do here is we just call a bunch of different people to the stand, and we talk about the Sinclair murder case, which was the murder mystery quest we did quite early on the account. I think it was probably like episode 3 or 4 or something, because it awarded us some really early crafting XP or something, if you remember. But this is just a direct continuation from that quest, but obviously you also need to do the Holy Grail and things in between. So the knights are not guilty, so we can leave the courtroom. Next up we need to save Merlin and the knights. So we just talk to everyone, come up with a plan to escape. And then after this we'll have to go and see Wizard Cromperty to, like I say, get our Reanimate Rock Scroll spell back. From him that we used during One Small Favour to rescue that woman entombed in the stone, and we can use that on a statue of King Arthur, because it is in fact King Arthur. There we go, we escape to the cell door. These renegade knights have those weird modern Varrock guard kind of bodies. They don't really look kind of old school, they look really weird, like Disney's Hercules or something. Right guys, so next up we have to go speak to Wizard Cromperty, like I say, just to get the Reanimate Rock Scroll spell back, because King Arthur's been captured, but not only has he been captured, he's also been turned to stone. So here we are, just looking like a Falador guard. We'll go infiltrate the thing, we'll save King Arthur. Actually a lot quicker to get down to this guy than it is to get to the Witch's Cauldron during Black Knight's Fortress itself, where you have to go like up and down a bunch of stairs. For this one you just walk inside, equip your Black Knight armour and just come down the ladder. So there's King Arthur freed. And there's King's Ransom complete, super quick, could have done that a long time ago, but again there was no real point because we were sort of sub 60 prayer for a long time, so unlocking the prayers wouldn't have mattered. But we do get 5k that we can put in any skill over 50, obviously Herblore's over 50, so that's 5k more towards those super restores coming up. I can just say how cool black armour actually looks. You never equip it because the stats are terrible, but it looks really good. It's a real shame there's no like transmog system or... But I just wear full black. Anyway, I'm going to get some stuff together and attempt this night training waves thing. I think what I'm going to do is just go up to the Mount Karaloom spear stall, just buy like a rune spear or something. Go fish a quick Karambwan, because we need to fish one anyway for the Karamja diary instead of buying one. And then I'll just make a Karambwan pasted spear. And then that should really be all we need. I'll get some backup food as well, and we'll come back and we'll try the waves out. Right guys, here we are looking like a true member of the Taibo One Eye. We've got ourselves the rune spear KP. I ran around and made and just knocked out a medium Karamja task in the meantime. Got some attack and strength parts, a little bit of food. So there are two kind of cheese methods for this if we do need to use them. You can utilise these training dummies around the edge to kind of hide behind, then run out and do one attack and quickly run back in, called flinching, where we just get one attack off at a time and he can't retaliate if we time it correctly. But then also we can utilise a kind of similar method to that, but where we use a poison weapon, and we just hope that one of the hits on him actually also poisons him, and then we just wait behind the dummy until he ticks down. So if I stand here, for example, I'll just demonstrate. Wait for his health bar to disappear, which shows he's not like lining an attack up, and then if in one tick we step out and hit him and step back, then we can wait for his health bar to disappear and do it again. This one is Sir Palamedes, so he's actually weak to crush, but the good thing about spears is they actually have all 3 combat styles. You guys might be aware of that if you've ever done any full Guthans AFK gargoyles where you swap your spear to crush, just to get the most accuracy against them. So that should be it. The Knight's Training Waves, we actually get 20k in all of our melees, including defense and health. So let's put our strength 2k off the next level, which is really good. That's Night Training Waves done, so we've got our really good prayers now for doing melee stuff. Nice little diversion here, nice to have this one out of the way. Really happy with the Rune Spear method. I'd recommend it to anyone, especially Ironman, because you can just buy the Rune Spear from a shop, like I say. And if you've done the Taibo One Eye trio quest, then you can actually just buy a raw Karambwan from a shop as well to make the poison. So super easy, and it has all 3 combat styles, so you can swap it to be the weakness of any of the guys in the waves. So really good method, this one. So yeah, just going to get back down to Slayer now. Probably get a strength level on this task, and also we've got 81k more till 75 when we unlock those amazing gargoyles, and we can maybe start some work on our smithing. So really good stuff. Hey guys, back on task here, just grabbing 64 prayer by sacrificing worm bones on our gilded altar. Really glad we made this thing. It's helped a lot with prayer levels throughout this little Slayer grind here. So only 6 more and we can use piety, which actually unlocks a bunch of hard diaries around the game, and it's also going to make certain quest boss fights a lot easier, specifically like the vampire ones where you have to use that terrible flail weapon. Going to need every extra bit of DPS we can to do those boss fights. Right guys, I'm happy to say that it's once again Dust Devil time. What's happening here? Never mind. Happy to say it's once again time for a Dust Devil task here. 240 Dust Devils, so we'll absolutely get this 55k mage up to 76, then one more level for Super Glass Make, so we can do a little bit more of this crafting. I've actually got 500 myth darts from the last time we did Dust Devils, because they can drop noted myth bars, so I stack those up and just turn them into dart tips with our 54 smithing. Turn them into darts, so I can use those on this task to round up the Dust Devils in order to burst them. Hey guys, there's 76 mage already. This dude here is trying to do that thing where they get you to unequip your Slayer helm in the Dust Devil room so you instantly die. Not going to work on me, pal, but good effort. But yeah, absolutely insane mage XP here, 140k an hour. There's another superior down, that's the second one from this task already, and still 70 more of these bad boys to kill, so it's going really, really well. Like I say, just probably one and a bit more of these full tasks and we'll just have 77 mage straight up. I'm just going to kill as many as I can before our last bar of prayer here runs out, because we only brought 4 prayer pots, or like 3.5. Can always just resupply and come back, because we do have so many noted ones saved up. Which is so nice to have. Have been keeping up with just turning Ranars into prayer pots, not so much planting them, but just the ones we've been getting, like I said before, from like loads of fire giant tasks and stuff, and aberrant spectres. The only risk is if a superior spawns kind of now, I won't have enough prayer on us to actually kill it fully, which is always the worst. I've lost about 3 or 4 superiors on this account to that, to them spawning just as you kind of need to leave to resupply. It's always the worst, but you know. I pretended to be Spanish to fool this guy to leave me alone, and he's obviously Google translating just to try and get me killed.
Kinda cringe.
Maybe he sees this one day and we'll all have a laugh, who knows. But yeah, I'm going to hop worlds anyway because this one's got 150 ping. I was just hopping around to find one that we could actually do, because every world's busy at the minute. Right guys, and with this Bloodveld here dead, that is 75 Slayer on the account. Absolutely crazy. Just sent it from 50 pretty much. Did some quests and stuff in between, but there it is, Gargoyles unlocked on the account. The only other Slayer milestones coming up are Brutal Blacks and Necreals, neither of which I'm really too interested in. So we're going to stop our Slayer there. So yeah, just going to finish out this task. I've got a ton of Installed Heads as well to do from this one, so that's really good. I might actually just take a quick break now, go and do those. And then come back and just finish it out. Hey you guys, here we are, another Tears of Guthix, another week. A really, really bad one here. I performed terribly, but we have so many ticks now from completing so many quests that it's not really that much of an issue. Lovely, there's 55 smithing on the account. So that's really good, nice level out the way for free. Also got this hard casket here from some kind of Slayer task or other, maybe it was last night's Bloodvelds. Just want to crack this open, see what we get as well. So we actually got 2 magic combos, a magic shortbow, a rune long, and some food. All stuff I'll be alching. I know maybe I can use the combo during Monkey Madness 2, but I already have a plan for Monkey Madness 2, so I'll be getting rid of all those. Right guys, so the immediate plan for today is going to be doing Mage Training Arena. I just want to get the Bones to Peaches spell, none of the equipment currently, seeing as we still haven't done all the Entrana quests. I'm not going to get those now. I'm just going to get Bones to Peaches because it will help us with survivability if we do have the runes to cast it on task, but obviously also you need it for Lumbridge Hard, which is the main thing. We actually need Mage XP, and you do get Mage XP in here, as you might imagine, because it's the Mage Training Arena. We're 104k off 77, and as I've said before, 77 is when we get the Lunar spell Super Glass Make, which will allow us to turn sand and seaweed from charter ships directly into glass without running over to a furnace and all the way back. So it should get us better crafting XP an hour while we go for 75 crafting. So yeah, we're going to try and do 2 birds, 1 stone here. We're going to try and get our Bones to Peaches unlocked, because it is one of those awesome permanent unlocks for the account, where once it's unlocked, it's just a spell in your spell book, so if we die or whatever happens, then we'll always have it. And nowadays, obviously, RuneLite tells you all the things you need, but let's have a look what we have left for this one. So we've done easy and medium, obviously. We just need to cast Bones to Peaches. We need to craft 56 cosmic runes at once. We'll have to just lose our stuff, which is why I kind of want to do that when we go do all the Entrana quests as well. And then also we need to purchase some Barrow's Gloves, and also String and Amulet of Power. So we need 70 crafting, we need to finish Legends quest, and we need to do some rune crafting and do this mage training arena. So it's not really the hugest asks on the account. And then with that one we get a really good ring. I believe that's the ring that gives you unlimited teleports to Valley Farm. And obviously hard diaries give you nice big XP lamp. The only issue I can foresee here is the only place I can currently buy cosmic runes is Ali Morytane's shop, and he only sells them 10 at a time. And I had a quick look at a guide for this, and it said to get enough of the enchanting points to get Bones to Peaches you need about 810 cosmics, so that would be 81 world hops, which is kinda sad. So instead of just blindly following the guide, once we get to the enchanting room, I'm just going to see how many points we get from 50 enchants, and then go back and resupply accordingly. And once again, here are the current stats on the account for those interested. I'm going to sort of slow down on the combat a bit now, focus on kind of some unlocks and easy quests, just up to having the requirements for both Devious Minds and Monkey Madness 2, and then we're going to head to do those and lose our combat gear. Probably should have mentioned in the last clip, but we're not actually going to be able to fully do Bones to Peaches today, because you're not actually able to enter the alchemy room if you have any coins with you. We have our entire cash stack of nearly 2 mil on us, but I'll try and do all 3 other rooms, then I'll come back when we've spent some of our money on some skilling, like smithing or crafting, or maybe just chuck it into our house for construction. So yeah, I guess we can go try the enchant room next, see how far we get with these 50 cosmics, like I say, and then go buy more cosmics as needed. Okay guys, back at the mage training arena. We've done the telegrab room, I've done a little bit of the enchanting room, just had to leave and hop a whole bunch of times at alley to get a couple of cosmics. I think we'll need more than this, but I'm just going to see how far we get with 272, because I just really genuinely got really bored of hopping, because the hops aren't very quick at the moment. Also grabbed a steel axe just from Bob's Axes in Lumbridge on the way, just because we need to cut a single magic log here for a diary task. Maybe it's Lumbridge Elite or Lumbridge Hard or something. I'll just cut one and then drop it, just so that task's out the way, and then we can ditch the axe and go back inside. Right guys, here we are coming to the end of the enchanting room here. I'm just enchanting 3 more Dragonstones and we'll have our 2k points. I actually thought it was 3k points, so I thought we had a lot more left to do. So what we have left now is the Graveyard room, which is the hardest one, and the Alchemist room, which we can't actually do because we have coins. But anyway, yeah, so this is the worst of the rooms here. What you have to do is grab bones, and then turn them into bananas or peaches, but obviously we don't have the peaches option because we're here to unlock that spell in the first place. And basically every 16 fruit we deposit is worth 1 point, and we need like 200 points, so we've got a lot of work to do. But we incrementally take damage, and we're also awarded these token runes, which is annoying because it fills our invent up. So yeah, it's just a case of repeating this. It's a shame that we don't have 16 slots, so we can't actually do a full deposit per run, but as far as I'm aware, like if you just deposit say 15 and then do 1 next time, it does count, it does add up, so we're not losing progress by doing less than 16 at a time, but we are getting these stupid single rune rewards. See you guys at the end when we have like the 200 points or whatever it is. Alright guys, here we are back in the Graveyard room on our very last point, which is good. I've been getting about 50 points per trip, so I've made about 5 or 6 trips here with resupplying on food, so not too bad. And there's 200 Graveyard Pizzazz points, so we can get out of here. If you were to carry on doing this for all the other Mage Training Arena rewards, it would be a lot easier, I think, because then you could just eat peaches inside for a much greater heal than the 2 that the bananas offer. Anyway, that's 3 of the 4 rooms done. The last one is the Alchemist room, and as you can see, we can't actually take any money inside to complete that one. That's as much Mage Training Arena as we can immediately do right now. If we just check with the Rewards Guardian upstairs, what we're after is this one. We've got all 3 points for these 3, but we have none of the Alchemist points quite yet. So we will be back shortly. We just need to make use of all our coins first elsewhere. So here we've got cash to spend and skills to gain, so I went and grabbed the ice gloves back from the Ice Queen in that mountain, and then headed over to Varrock and watched this really good guide on YouTube. I'll link it below. I mentioned it I think maybe last episode, just on how to do Giant's Foundry as a UIM. Just wanted to test it, see how much it would cost, and see if we would have to end up camping gargoyles to get our 70 smithing for the quest cape or not. I only immediately need 65 for Devious Minds, but I feel like if we're stopping to do a bulk amount of skilling anyway, might as well just get the requirements for both out of the way at the same time. Now if we do this, that would mean that we don't have to do any goldsmith gauntlets messing about, which would be really nice, because I haven't yet done Family Crest, and it does take place in the wilderness, so I'd rather do it later if possible, as opposed to now when we still have a big cash stack and all our items on us. Like I say, I'll grab 2 lots of 7 plate bodies and we'll go make 2 swords, and just see sort of how long it takes as a round trip, and how much money we lose and how much XP we get. So here's the reward shop for the Giant's Foundry. I don't really care about any of these rewards at all. I guess what you do is you just spend your points on these molds because they increase the maximum points you can make per sword with the same amount of bars, and then all these other things are just consumables. Double ammo molds, cool, but obviously you can't reclaim any of these for free. It's a case of buying it once when we need it. I don't think it's ever going to be worth grabbing that. Interestingly, if you do buy the Colossal Blade, then it gets added to Purdue's Reclaim shop for 300k, which really isn't worth the money, but that's just an interesting thing. Like, if we do buy that, then it becomes buyable again with coins later. That's the only thing in this shop that works that way. So really quickly how this works is you head over to the Crucible with either some metal items or some bars. Now the metal items in question have to be ones that the player is able to smith, and their value as bars is the same as whatever the cost it is for you to smith it minus 1. So for example, a plate body costs 5 bars to make, so it's worth 4 bars if you put it into a sword. So it's actually really, really good for limited inventory accounts like ours. We're effectively carrying 4 bars in one inventory space, and also we don't have to make the bars, we can just buy them from a store. So it is a total of 7 plate bodies, because you do need to make up to 28 bars of value to create a sword, and there are various combinations of metals or alloys, if you like, that are worth more points than just using like 7 of one plate body. So that's why we're doing 2 myth and 5 steel. It's like a good number of points, and if you put 3 myth in or go any higher, then you have to take slightly longer. There's more steps to make the sword. So this is like a nice neutral kind of middle ground where the swords aren't too expensive or aren't too hard to make, but they also do give some decent points. Also, the max points for a sword is determined by the molds that you use, and you have better molds basically that you unlock with points in the minigame from that shop we just showed. Some of them have certain level requirements, so you can't start earning the most points until higher smithing levels, but it's always nice to buy all the molds because it doesn't take too long to get them all. And the points you get for a sword directly influence both the XP you get and the coins you get for the sword, so the more points the better basically in every scenario. So what we actually have to do is free our hands to play this game, but luckily anytime we come here we'll have already put some metal in the thing to free up some invent space, so even if our invent's full then that's okay. It's not really that complicated, it just can get a little bit confusing if you stop paying attention. But that should be it, that's the sword. So if we hand it to Korvac, should get our reward here. So 6,000 XP in 6 minutes 37, and then that's given us 81 reputation points, which isn't bad to be honest. If you look at, say, the ore pack is 200, or some of these molds are only 300 plus. We've already got 81 for a single sword, so that's good. Hey guys, just coming to the end of a sword here, and this is around 1 hour. There we go, so that was 9k XP. I've done 8 swords pretty much in an hour. I think I could have done more. The first one I was just kind of getting to grips with it, and obviously we were messing about, hopping to like RD and stuff to check prices and things. We are 58 smithing. We actually got 75k smithing XP in that hour, which is a little bit ridiculous honestly. We just bought stuff from a shop and tallied here and used it. In terms of the shop here, I did actually buy 2 molds so far for 300 each, and we got ourselves 156 more points, so we got about 750 points as well in that first hour, just to give you a kind of idea of how long it would take to buy any of these uniques. And our cash stack's gone down by about 36k, so it's cost us about half a GP per XP, which is really, really good. All we need now to get to level 70 is around 500k more. What, like 6-7 hours of doing this, and it would probably only cost us 300 or 400k. It would take us so much longer to go kill gargoyles. I think I worked out that the average gargoyle is about 103 smithing XP each, and you've got to take into account all the time it would take to get to gargoyles and supply and kill them, and then you'd have to actually smelt all those bars after. So I think cumulatively this is going to be way better just for getting to 70. So I think that will be our next goal here. I think I'll just grind out 70 doing swords, and every time we get enough money for another mold we'll just buy them. Then we can focus all our energies on getting probably 1 more mage level somewhere, and then doing super glass make to get that 75 crafting. I feel like that's going to be a much longer grind than this one. So yeah, I'll clue you guys in, I guess, probably when we've done more smithing. There's 60 smithing coming in. Not actually as big a level as you'd expect. You don't really unlock anything, just dragon squares and myth battle axes, but 61, 62, there we go, another sword, 65, so that is the level for Devious Minds, but gonna carry on 5 more. There's 66, just 4 left. Right guys, there's 67. And there's 68 and 69, and finally 70 smithing coming in. So that's a total gain of 580,000 XP. It only took about 6 to 8 hours. It's hard to say because obviously the more molds you get, then your points per hour goes up over time. We did actually end up buying all the molds here, even the ones that we don't yet have the smithing level to use, so that's really good. Made about 62 total swords, and it only cost us around 160 to 170k coins for 580k XP, so it's about a 0.3 GP XP, which is honestly incredibly cheap. Really, really good method. Anyway, that's now smithing out of the way for a bit. Next up, I need to get the remainder of this level 77 mage level, which is only about 45k XP. So what I've done here is just grab some mystic boots for a little accuracy bonus and some runes for Iban's Blast. We're going to return to the good old Forthos dungeon here and safe spot a few red dragons, just because they have no mage defense. And we can also get a mage level in under an hour and squeeze out a little bit of prayer XP at the same time, thanks to the bone also we unlocked before. So with our smithing now completed to quest cape levels and our mage level high enough to do some super glass make to do some crafting, I just wanted to take a little break once again and do a couple more of these easy quests like I mentioned earlier, just knock some out the way, thin this quest list down a little bit just so we can focus on the kind of big ones when we do come to resetting our gear. So first things first was to head over to Rag and Bone Man. Still hadn't done this for some reason. You just have to run around and kill like 8 or 9 really newbie monsters like goblins and rats and stuff and just bring their bones back here and mess about with some vinegar. So just really quickly did that. I wanted to start Rag and Bone Man 2 straight after, but you actually can't do it unless you've done some other quests, including Fenk and Strange's Castle. So I just picked it up, and then we went off to start the Fenk and Strange's Castle quest, and also do the subsequent Garden of Tranquility quest that we need for the Varrock Diary as well. Okay, here we are at Fenk and Strange's Castle with an inventory full of fun things. Including the Ghost Speak amulet we went and reclaimed, and also the pickled brain from the Canifis bar. I think that's normally a pub snack in Canifis, but for the purposes of this quest we'll be using it to create a zombie. With the help of his headless farmer Ghost, we can go find a nice head in a grave. Spoiler, it's his. Then we kill some experiments, we get a key, and then we can go through to an island which subsequently has a clue scroll step on it. We just dig up some body parts there. We take these back to the castle with a needle and thread, and then we're in task to go to a furnace and use a special furnace mould to create a lightning rod so we can conduct some lightning, just like in the Frankenstein story, and bring our zombie to life. Dr. Fenkenstrain says he's worried that the zombie's angry at him for reanimating him. It turns out that Fenkenstrain's actually kind of a bad guy, so we side with the zombie guy. It's kind of funny because he's hiccuping because he actually has a pickled drunk brain. A relatively short one, just requires us to do a little bit of walking around and obviously to teleport out and teleport back, but really no issue with the combat or really the inventory. We only needed about 8 spaces at any one time, so it was perfectly doable. So now we yoink this guy's ring off him, and that literally just finishes the quest with that pickpocket action, which is very strange. But there it is, the Ring of Charos. So what we need to do is actually get this imbued by a further quest. Right, so here we are in Varrock Castle. Just going to speak to the Queen. Basically, this is a quest, Garden of Tranquility, where she wants this garden to be made really nice, as is befitting of a royal, I suppose. But currently it's all overgrown and there's just nothing planted in it. So we need to go around the game, get some very special seeds that she's listed here on this list, as well as some statues and other things, just to pimp this garden out and make it look really nice. So doing this quest is actually a requirement for a bunch of Varrock Diary steps. There's a diary step to pick a fruit from the tree that we grow here after the quest, and then obviously there's also the diary step for Gertrude's cat when we actually imbue this Ring of Charos during the quest. Kind of a painful one this, because we have to go around, grab a bunch of seeds to plant for some gardeners in exchange for some other seeds, and you do actually have to wait the full real-time farming cycle for these to grow, so it's a little bit boring. So just went around the game to like Falador Farm, Morytania Farm, a couple of others, planted some seeds for some people, also helped some people out like a guy in Berthup, creating a special plant cure out of some rune essence and a regular plant cure. Also, chucked our Ring of Charos down the well temporarily so we could talk to the monks without an unholy ring on us, and then had to fish it out again afterwards. Not really the worst quest in the world, but a little bit tight on inventory space, because obviously we have to take a bunch of seeds with us, and also bring a bunch of seeds back. On top of that, our marigolds actually died during the quest, even though they were ultra-composted, which kind of sucked, but it's not a very difficult seed to get back. Just did some master farmers and had to wait another 20 minutes for that one. During the quest, also picked up the cat from Gertrude with the charm option with the ring, which is the reason we came here for the diary task. So now the only thing left for Varrock Medium is the Enlightened Journey Balloon. So there should just be a cutscene now. We go talk to the king, and that should be quest complete. Just in the meantime, I've been and got 4 of the bones in vinegar for Rag and Bone Man 2, because that is quite a long quest. We do need to go get 27 different bones in pots of vinegar, so a lot of juggling. A lot of running around the map. So just while I had some time to kill, I just went and grabbed 4 random creatures. So I'll just really quickly go turn those in after this quest because we're kind of nearby. Final conversation, post cutscene, and there we are. Garden of Tranquility complete, 5k farming, Ring of Charos activated, and a super compost potion and some garbage seeds. It's just so sad. Anyway, that's another one out of the way. What I've got here in my invent is just the fishbowl diving apparatus stuff, just for great brain robbery later on. Just went and reclaimed that from Port Khazard. So I'm going to go do all the Rag and Bone Man 2 stuff now, turn that quest in as well, just get that out of the way because it is a long one. And then we'll try and do the great brain robbery, unlock Harmony Island. We can do a Morytania diary step over there to plant some watermelons. Way later down the line when we do the elite Morytania diary, we also get a herb patch over there. So it'd be really, really nice to get that done. So that's the plan going forward. Oh wow, that's an interesting one. I'm just here doing some of these bones in the pots of vinegar, and if you click too quick, if you put 2 bones into the same pot in the same tick, then you just lose a bone. So we've just lost one. Yeah, we just lost our werewolf bones. That's an interesting bug. If you're ever doing this quest, don't do it too quick or you just lose progress. That's really good. God, this quest is so awful. You have to do so much item juggling here to drop your pots of vinegar, talk to the guy. You need to go chop logs, bring them back up here and light the thing. You can click through the middle of the thing for some reason. I'm not really sure why these 2 quests are in the game, because in other RuneScape, if you guys aren't aware, there is a 3rd Rag and Bone Man quest where you have to kill even more monsters and get a bunch of different hides instead of bones. And then once you've done all 3 of the Rag and Bone Man quests, you can fight a boss behind this guy for some Slayer and Prayer XP once a week, as well as a guaranteed elite clue scroll. So that would be kind of cool to see added to this game, just to give these quests some actual point. Because doing all this work for 5k prayer XP honestly isn't worth the time. It's less than 20 dragons in the 4th Us dungeon, which would take a lot less time than going around the whole game. Anyway, it's just one more quest we have to do. I think we've now done 12 approximately, so it should be about 15 creatures left. So just going to bang this out and I'll see you guys at the end. Right guys, now if we've done this all correctly, then this last pot that's boiling here should be the very last bone for Rag and Bone Man 2. This took me like 2 hours to do, and it really, like I say, it gives you 5k prayer XP, so completely worthless. It doesn't lead to any further quests either. So yeah, just really a really sucky experience all around, but there we go, we got a stupid hat for it at least. And we did tick over the 65 prayer that we knew we would. Right gamers, with Rag and Bone Man out the way, the next thing we're going to do is Porcine of Interest, a really rubbish low-level Slayer quest that unlocks some rubbish pigmen tasks that you actually don't want unlocking, because it ruins your tutorial skips. But since we're done with Slayer for now, we're just going to do the quest now. The upside to this quest is it will unlock a Slayer Master here in Draenor Village. So whenever we need to maybe buy some Slayer equipment and we're in this area, we don't have to go all the way to Berthup and Nip to Terrail. We can just go to Spria or whoever she's called in this house here. So all we do is we pick up a bounty on a board like we're a witcher or something, and then we run over to the farm here, speak to the lady who posted the bounty, and then we have to go and find the Sour Hog. And it turns out that he's just in a hole next to Draenor Manor, so it's a quest that takes place in quite a small area. And then once he's dead, we can take his foot back, turn it in, and there it is, Portion of Interest out the way. Turns out if you already had a Slayer helm before doing this quest, then it just automatically has the goggles equipped after the quest. That's really good, we can destroy these ones. So now, like I say, we can use this as a reward shop. If we want to quickly cancel a rubbish task, we can just come straight here, or we can come here to buy Slayer equipment to do other stuff. Right guys, time for the start of the Great Brain Robbery quest. This one is the culmination of both the Fenk and Strain quest line that we've just done, and also the Pirate quest line we did previously. This is the final quest in both. It kind of merges the quest lines together, where we have to go over to Harmony Island and fight Barrel Chest, who is a boss. Now on the way we need a bunch of items on us. First of all, we need these planks and stuff to build a crate, and then we need to fill the crate with wooden cats to trick some werewolves into thinking they're real cats. So what we do is we head over to Mostly Harmless first to start the quest. Now during this, to make the wooden cats, you actually need 10 planks and 10 fur to combine together to make all those cats. So we're going to need like 20 invent spaces, it sounds like, so I guess we'll just see how that works when we get to it. Made ourselves a holy symbol, took a fair bit of time because we have to go to Edgeville to make this every time we need to make one. Because we don't have access to Sepulchre or anywhere where they naturally drop, so... Here we are on Harmony Island. There is actually a diary task to plant some watermelons in here. I don't think there's actually tomatoes in there. I think it's just that long-range render thing. But what we need to do is pop our fishbowl on so we can breathe outside, because there's kind of a zombifying smog on this island, which is why everyone's a zombie. Luckily, I guess the leprechaun here is magic, so he's not affected by the zombie virus, but it would be cool if he was a zombie one, because there's some unique ones in the game, like the one on top of Troll Stronghold who's like sunbathing and stuff. So we bring a hammer with us, and we bring some nails and some planks, and then we can fix these underwater rotten stairs to get up, and then we can climb up and have a peep inside the church. Not going to worry about doing the diary step right now to plant the watermelons. We'll come back when the quest is complete. There's no real rush for that. I'll probably have to go and do either some Master Farmers or a quick temple trek to get us some watermelon seeds anyway. Plus it is for Morytania Hard, which also requires 70 prayer to unlock piety to complete. And also a reminder, we haven't yet finished Morytania Medium. So really not in a rush to do a random hard diary step like that one. Okay, here we are. We'll talk to Brother Tranquility. Tell him what we've learned by sneaking under the water there to peep inside the church. We have to go back to Edgeville Monastery. Okay. I'll head over there and grab the next stuff for the quest. Okay, we're back on Harmony Island. We've just been to Edgeville Monastery to get a book. So if we recite the prayer with our holy symbol equipped. So as you can see, by using the prayer book and casting a spell, we got rid of the gas around the granary itself, so it's now a little safe spot there. We don't need to wear our diving equipment if we ever teleport in. So what we actually need to do now is grab ourselves some planks. We need to pickpocket our Ring of Charos back, which is fine because we're already going to Dr. Fenk and Strain. So yeah, I'll go grab some items together, some planks and all sorts, and see you guys back here with items. Just going to pickpocket Dr. Fenk and Strain here just to grab his ring back. And then what we do is we talk to him. Because what we need to do now is build the pallet that I mentioned earlier that we're going to fill with wooden cats to trick the werewolves. And then using the charm capabilities of the ring, we can convince them that the wooden cats inside are in fact real cats and it's a crate full of meat. And then they'll take those. So we head over to Canifis, go to the meat shop, and we'll talk to the guy there. So now it comes to the point where we need to make the cats, but just going to go ahead and try and build the pallet first, and once again ignore the quest helper. Just want to see if we can go back to the castle and, like I say, use the 4 planks now, because if it requires us to get all 10 cats and 4 planks and nails and hammer on us, that's going to be a bit more of a push to find 17 invent spaces as opposed to like 10. Here we go, so it's buildable, technically. You need 6 parts of the crate that Rufus gave you. Right, so we can't actually build this until we've done the cats. That kind of sucks, but sort of expected. I guess ultimately what we could also do is get rid of our diving gear, because it's just reclaimable here at Port Khazard, so it's really, really easy to get back. Well, we can get rid of the wolf whistle as well, and if we need any more spaces I'll get rid of our natures and fires as well. So this should be doable. So I'll go buy some fur and make some clockwork cats and we'll see what we're doing. So here we go, big brain play. Just drop our furs, reset the planks, and then I guess drop like 2. Just grab 3 of these, then we can just house telly. It's the kind of things you have to do on these silly accounts, right? I feel like I don't show a lot of the inventory management stuff, even though it is like the entire bulk of this account. So it's kind of hard to find the balance because I find it's probably not very interesting to watch. But if I also skip over it, then you kind of miss really what this account is. It's just like we're just playing a normal UIM otherwise. But anyway, back to the monastery here. 2 more, so we'll make sure we have 4 spaces. Temporarily ditch a cat. Wow, they're 2,750 each. Moneymaker. And then with the power of just dropping stuff on the floor at teleport spots, grab ourselves our 10th cat. That's really, really good. We may need to make more spaces because there's a bunch more stuff we need to get. Like 4 planks, we need to get our hammer back, we need to get 6 crate parts, and we also need a wolf whistle. And I'm hoping Rufus will just take these now, but I don't think he will. So we'll sell these fires and natures real quick, make some space doing that. If you're wondering about how I sell and buy things so quickly, I think I mentioned before, but it is just the default menu entry swapper these days. You can set shift click to buy or sell 50, which I have done as you can see here. And it just makes buying stuff from NPC shops like runes just so easy. Get rid of the prayer book. We can get that back from the monastery. So there's 4 spots for planks. I hope the crate parts stack. If they don't, I don't know what we're going to do because we won't even be able to fit this without the cats. We'll really quickly juggle some planks because that's easy enough. I guess we could drop the axe real quick. Right, so let's quickly see just how many items Rufus actually gives us. Oh right, there we go. So yeah, they are in fact stackable, which is really good. So we're still short 2 spaces. So let's take these kind of as far as we can be bothered, like here. I think it's about 2 minutes before it appears to other players. So we've been back, grabbed our 2 planks that we left on the ground. We'll ditch 2 more, grab the cats. It is technically possible that we can drop our lunar staff, because we can buy that back for 80k from Purdue in Lumbridge now, which is a lot of money. Maybe it's 60k. So I'd rather not have to do that if we can just avoid it with a little bit of shuffling around like this. But even if we drop that, that wouldn't solve our problems, because we still need 1 more space from somewhere else. This is finally the bag-only experience. It's what you tuned in for, guys. Hopefully we don't bend 100 nails. If it would hurry up, that would be ideal. Because we have cats. There we go, that's the planks finally used. So if we just dash downstairs before those cats disappear. So here we go, a box full of cats. We'll just fill the crate. Then we'll blow the whistle with the ring equipped. Then we'll see a cutscene where Rufus comes to pick up our crate. He inspects it and he says, yep, this is a good crate full of meat. And then he gets teleported over to Harmony Island. So what we're going to do now is just really quickly leave and grab some combat supplies. We will need to just really quickly grab our diving apparatus back as well, though, because we did have to ditch that. And we also need to grab a hammer back. I'll see you guys over on Harmony Island for the final part of this annoying quest. So I think what we can do is use some supplies from the ship, for example some gunpowder and fuses on there from the cannons, and then use those on the door of the church to blast it open and finally face the boss. And then finally we'll have to fight the barrel chest boss himself. There are a few methods. There's a safe spot method. Also helps that you can take a charter ship to mostly harmless from pretty much any port in the game. That's really, really useful for stuff like this. And since we've done Rum Deal, or whichever one it is, Cabin Fever, then it's only 1,050 coins to charter here from, say, Port Khazard at the Ardy Cape spot. So really, really easy to get back, and not very expensive either. So here we go, we put a barrel bomb just in the door, and then we light the fuse. Awesome, and then we go inside and we actually fight some of these Sawbones guys, because they actually drop pieces of Frankenstein zombie equipment that we can use. And we can use that to fix Brother Tranquility's head or something back inside the windmill, with Dr. Frankenstein's help to heal him up. Interestingly, we've got a mithril dagger here, so these guys actually have drops. Perhaps you can come back and kill these on a zombie task or something? I've never looked this up, but... Oh wow, they drop scimitars, daggers, eye patches, blue and red bandanas. They also drop brain death rum and fishing baits. They have nice thematic kind of drops. Right, there we go, that's all the pieces of the zombie head from these Sawbones fellas. Cool, so that's it, we've done the surgery now. So Brother Tranquility should be all put back together. We'll be able to talk to him, he's now a human again. And we can use his monk powers to help us fight the boss. Apparently if you just go inside, begin the boss fight and then just leave straight away, then the boss gets stuck. So if you come back in, then it's just safe spotted automatically. So let's run away. And then let's go back in. Apparently if you just don't move, then it's just immediately stuck. This is normally a lot harder. This guy hits really hard, and every hit he turns your prayer off and drains your prayer and defense. So you have to keep drinking prayers and keep flicking your prayer back on every hit. But this is just, it's like our Slayer grind, it's just brainless bolting. This is great. Never done it this way before, but guess you learn something new every day. Definitely oversupplied for this one, didn't I? But that's cool. So with him dead, we should have to take his barrel chest anchor, which drops on the ground broken. And after the quest, you can turn it into a level 60 weapon by paying like 200k to get it repaired. But we won't be doing that. There we go, Migor and the barrel chest are both dead, and Harmony Island is now free of the gas. And there we go. 6k prayer, 3k crafting, 2k construction, a blessed lamp, which is always nice, and we can get that prayer book back from the Edgeville Monastery in future. I think you can use it to cure poison or something, so... and then we do get ourselves a nice 5k in Herblore, which puts us 54 XP away from level 60. Then it'll only be 2 or 3 levels for super restores, which is really good. So yeah, really surprising. I was expecting the boss fight to be really hard, but it was super easy. And I was expecting the rest of the quest to be super easy, but it was actually kind of hard. So interesting quest, that one, but another one down, I guess. Right guys, and with Barrel Chest defeated, that's another action-packed episode of Bag Only coming to a close. Thanks again for tuning in. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you want to sub, like, all that stuff, go for it. Just quick recap in this one. Of course, we started at the Haunted Mine. We did that. We did the Lair of Tarn Razorlaw. We also did King's Ransom, Rag and Bone Man 1 and 2, Fenk and Strain, Garden of Tranquility, Great Brain Robbery, and Porcine of Interest. Also completed the Night Waves, so we can now use Chivalry, and I think we're 5 levels off Piety. We did 3/4 of Bones to Peaches, but obviously we can't do the last quarter until we've used up our cash stack. We did some smithing, got all the way to 70 for Questcape. We might get some more in future, maybe 73 for Addy Bolts or something, but it's a nice place to stop for now. It's all we need for Song of the Elves. We also knocked out 75 defense during our little Slayer grind, and we also of course got 75 Slayer completed, and we also got our 77 Mage, so we can very shortly do some crafting with Super Glass Make on the Lunar Spellbook. Also during this one we did a whole bunch of random diary tasks, but we didn't actually fully complete any diary. I think we did everything for like Morytania Medium, minus the Trouble Brewing we'll be doing in future. We did a few Lumbridge tasks, we did some Varrock tasks, so you know, we're eking towards some more diaries, going to put some more lamps into our Herblore, get closer to those Super Restores, and ultimately 70 or 72 for Questcape and Ranging Pots later down the line. So yeah, I think probably next episode will be our full reset, where we'll do the aforementioned getting rid of our combat gear to do our Entrana things and other associated dangerous activities. So that should be an interesting one, guys, and probably also the crafting grind next episode as well. So if that sounds exciting, guys, drop a sub and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.